the conversations that count. That's the Awanachi Conversation, where we create a platform where we amplify the voices of girls and women in different spaces. I am your host. My name is Mpunga Simukwai, and I'm super excited on this week's Awanachi Conversation. Like we've said, the month of March is the Women's Celebration Month. We are celebrating all things women and all things to do with women. I'm excited because my guest on the program today is the current Zika president, and that's none other than Mrs. Yande Mwenye. She emphasized to say, don't say Mwenye, say Mwenye. So I'm super excited to host her on the show today, and thank you so much for creating time off your busy schedule to just say, okay, now let's Awanachi Conversations to learn one or two things. So thank you so much for coming, and I must start by saying you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm really honored to be here. I mean, it's always an opportunity to showcase what we can do as women and what we are doing. So thank you for having me.
It's a joy. The pleasure is actually ours. Now, just to set the ball rolling, could you just tell us about yourself? Who exactly is Yande Mwenye?
Yande is a mom, is a daughter, a wife, a sister, and then also a Christian, someone who loves people, someone who loves board games, who loves numbers, you know. So I guess
Numbers
I'm in the right
there, right?
Yes, you know. I play a game when I'm stuck in traffic. I look at the number plates, I add them, I subtract them, I divide them. I do all sorts of things. So
that's amazing.
Definitely it's in me.
Wow.
Yeah, so just a few things. Yes, I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a practitioner, I'm an employer. Yeah, I do all those things.
Amazing.
Yes.
You wear so many hats.
Yes.
And that's why we don't take it for granted that with the many hats that you wear, the demands on your time, you still took time to be a part of the conversation. We don't take that for granted, and are truly, truly grateful. Now, we are in Women's Month, and this particular podcast is happening in Women's Month. We just thought to find out from you, what is the significance of Women's Month to you as an individual, and then to you as a professional?
So I guess I'm going to mesh the two into one.
Yes.
The fact that we even have a month celebrating us as women, I mean, that's a major milestone, and it's something that I'm proud of. I believe we have earned our stay, or is it end the month, because of the many achievements that have been there. There are a lot of women that are doing amazing things. Some unsung, some in the background, some in the forefront, but we need to celebrate who we are and what we do, and we should never shy away from that. To me, I believe being a woman is an amazing strength, and the reason for that is we get to juggle so many things. So you see, from here, after the interview, I'll be thinking of, okay, my family has to eat. What next? Then I'm planning for tomorrow and doing all sorts of other things. So why not have a month that celebrates us?
Absolutely. That's very important. Thank you so much. Now, you are the Zika president. For me, I always celebrate when I see women take such positions, because I think the conversation shouldn't just be around women participation. It is about women participation in those decisions, those positions of decision making. So I would just like to find out, growing up, did you ever see yourself as being a leader? Is it where I'm going to be a leader one day, or it was just one of those things that you evolved into? Could you just take us through your leadership journey?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So growing up, you don't really consciously think about it, but in our homes, we find that I'm the firstborn of my parents, and with that comes responsibility. It's always, Yande, can you help your sibling with this or that? Can you watch over them while we are out? Or when you're out there, watch over your siblings. So it's something that comes, I guess, naturally, but we never we never really think about it as a leadership role. So to answer your question, not directly, but then I kind of then evolved into it. Became conscious that, okay, this is what I have to do. I always have to put my hand up or my, the best foot forward and just get into it, yeah.
Okay. Now, what does it mean or what does it take to be president of Zika? And what does it demand from you? And I ask this because I know the pressure that goes in the background before you make a decision to stand for leadership. And we have seen that in most cases as women, we have to deal with self-doubt. We have to deal with imposter syndrome. You have to ask yourself, am I going to succeed? What if I'm not voted? Exactly. Then maybe if there's that chance I might not be voted, let me just stay back. So could you just take us through the moments that led to you being elected as a Zika president, and then what it means being in this role now, but more so what it demands from you as Zika president?
So that's a fully packed question. So yes, getting into it, how do you get there? You have to be elected.
Yeah.
So essentially you have to talk to people. Hopefully they like you as a starting point. Then they can listen to you. But also it's selling ideas. Convincing people that, you know what, we can do this together, because it's not about I. Getting there, getting that done, getting into the office, which it's a great honor that, the accountants saw it fit that, well, Yande should be the second female president.
Yeah.
Because as you can see in our profession, since the inception of Zika, I'm only the second woman. And this is going on to 42 years. That's a long time. Yeah. So to be entrusted with this responsibility is a great honor that I don't take for granted. And yes, it comes with a lot of work, as you'd expect in any leadership role. It comes with making difficult decisions. It comes with putting your head on the chopping board and saying, okay, if I say this, I'm speaking for everyone. So you have to think, am I making the right decision? Am I saying the right thing? Am I keeping abreast with what's going on currently? Because as Zika, our mandate is to protect public interest. That is one of them. We have to take care of our members as well. So it's a whole list of a lot of things that need to be done. And it's something that I don't take for granted. But it's a great honor. And I'm hoping that in my term, we can do a lot and achieve a lot. And I recognize that I'm not alone. We're a team, not just as council, but the entire membership. And it's something I do. I tell people, I said, the same way I was calling you when I was campaigning, it's the same way you should call me. If there is an issue, pick up the phone. Yeah. Ask me what's going on, what can we do better? Because it's for all of us and for our country.
Wow, I totally love that. Now, getting into your accountancy training, how did you find yourself in accountancy? I'm already curious because already you explained the fact that you're in traffic and you're adding number plates. I don't want to add number plates when I'm in traffic. I just want to listen to music and get home. So could you just share with us how you found yourself in the world of accountancy?
Interestingly, my first choice was not accountancy.
Oh, really?
My first choice was aviation. I wanted to be a pilot.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if I've told you the story before, but I applied to the flying school and I was accepted. And my father called me. He says, okay, you've been accepted, that's good. But I just want you to think about it. Our national airline then, I think, was having problems and it then, closed up. And he then told me, he said, as a pilot, you need a lot of flying times. Now, if you can't do it locally, unless you join the Air Force, it's very difficult for you to go into another country and get into that space it needs to work for you at home. So I said, okay, I'm listening. And he said, but have you thought about accountancy? You know, there are accountants everywhere, in church,
everywhere,
you know, in hospitals, different organizations. They need accountants there. He then told me, think about it. I said, okay. So a day or two later, I came back and I said, Daddy, I'm going to do accountancy. And he told me, oh, I've already applied for you. You leave on Saturday. So that's how
he had the plan laid out already.
He made me believe I was making the decision, but I appreciate that because it gave me time to really think about what I wanted to do, and I'm grateful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in terms of you, I'm aware of the fact that your dad was Auditor General for Zambia at a certain point. Did that somewhat influence you in terms of the direction that you took up as a career? I know you explained the aviation aspect, but was there in a way some influence from Dad in that regard?
I mean, of course. I like to think I'm still Daddy's little girl. So he was my hero, my inspiration. And I saw him work hard. So that is something that was ingrained in me. So yes, it did have, some impact.
Great. Now, do you think that men make better accountants than women?
I would like to think in our profession, I don't really think it's about gender. It's about what you bring to the table. How much are you willing to put in? In other professions, yes, we can say women are good at this or men are good at that. But in our profession, I don't believe that. Even though we are outnumbered as women, so there are more male accountants. And I would like to believe they actually voted for me, so there's something I bring to the table. But to answer your question, it's about putting in your best, you know, and not setting unseen barriers, but just really putting in your very best and being result-oriented, which all of us should be able to do.
Now, do you think, obviously, across all sectors, you would find that the women are underrepresented or they're not in positions of decision making. What does the future look like for Zika and in terms of gender representation? Also looking at issues of gender inequality, what are some of your plans as Zika to just bring a balance in terms of the number of both female and male accountants?
So I would imagine that as president, hopefully I can inspire another woman, not just to be president, but to take up leadership roles. Sometimes we shouldn't blame the men, but sometimes we are our own worst enemies because we don't want to do that extra that I talked about. So I'll give you a typical example. In my office, I run my own practice. Sometimes 5 p.m., 5:30, all the ladies have left. The guys stay back. They do a bit more work. And sometimes I have stayed up, even up to 2 a.m., because we really need to get a report out. So at the end of the day, it's about us putting ourselves in front, showing that it can be done. And yes, we are looking at gender inequality, and it's in the Sustainable Development Goals, I believe, Goal 5.
Yes.
But we also have to do our part. It's not just enough to be a woman. That's a fact. We can't change that. But we need to do a bit more. If there are opportunities, we need to grab them. We shouldn't wait for them to be given to us, which sometimes is a challenge. It's an actual problem. So for Zika, what does it look like? I'm hoping that we continue to have opportunities where our members can step forward, where we can mentor, that is a critical area, because we have a lot of junior accountants coming up, and I would like to believe that without them we won't have a future. And that's for both the men and the ladies. We just have to be there, put ourselves in front.
Yeah. Well said. So you will find that in certain spaces, women will not step up. What do you think are some of the reasons why a woman won't step up and get into accounting? Is it because it's perceived to be hard, or is it actually hard? What makes women stay back from your experience?
It's just sometimes it's fear of failure. And don't get me wrong, fear is a healthy emotion because it keeps us out of trouble. But you should be able to get beyond that fear. As you alluded to earlier, I was in an election. I had to run, against very strong opponents. They were all men, by the way. And yes, I did get scared. I did feel, what if?
What if I fail?
What if I fail?
Yeah.
Even in my firm, I thought, starting out, what if I can't pay salaries? What if I can't pay rent? What if I can't deliver?
Yeah.
But for me, that fear is something I had to overcome, because then you get paralyzed, you won't do anything. And we have to keep pushing forward every day. It can't be an event and you say, I did it once. No. So that is one of the things. And yes, there are other biases. They are there. We won't deny them. They are. We know that, as I gave the example of, the women will leave, there's maternity leave, there's Mother's Day, there are all those things that happen. And that's because of who we are. We can't change that. But we should be able to overcome and show that we have the right to have a seat at the table.
Absolutely. Now, when you say we need to show up, you highlight the fact, the demands on you as a woman are a lot. You are here, you are an accountant. The home demands your time. The workplace demands your time. As Zika president, how have you managed to navigate? I am one of the people, I don't believe in work-life balance, because I honestly think that doesn't exist. Because I think it's more about being present in whatever role you are in at a particular time. How have you managed to juggle, I'd rather call it, how have you managed to juggle your professional and personal life as Zika president?
And you put it very well. You just have to be present in that role. Know which role you are in at what particular time. That's the only way it works. And then, yes, there has to be balance. Now we're talking about issues of mental health. We have to be intentional. Sometimes it's difficult, but I don't believe that you can be busy 24/7, 365 days.
The whole time?
No. So you have to, there are times when you have to say no. And it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
You have to have boundaries. No is actually a very good word. So sometimes you have to say, no, I think I will not do this. Let me pause. Because while you're juggling all these roles, I can guarantee you one of them is going to suffer.
Yeah.
Whether it's the office, whether it's Zika, the family.
Yeah.
So you always need to have your eye on the ball. And sometimes it's just being consistent in the little things.
Yeah.
The little things. Make sure you have meals as a family. Be there for we have Monday morning meetings at the office. Being abreast with what's going on currently that affects Zika is one of the things you have to do. And I like to believe there will be more to come. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally love that. Now, as a leader, what would you say have been some of your biggest challenges as a leader, And then how have you been able to navigate them? You can just highlight maybe 3 challenges through your journey to where you are now, and how you've managed to navigate those times or those phases.
I'll give you one big one, COVID. I think that was one of the biggest challenges we had to face, because we were all affected. So you can't get into the office, you can't get to the clients, you have to make sure your staff are okay. Are they safe? Are you safe? What's going on? And then you have constant bad news on a daily basis. That was tough, so that was one of the biggest challenges. Surviving in the private sector, still saying you have to pay your bills and work in that difficult environment. But thank God for digitalization. So that was one of my biggest challenges. And then ongoing, it's making sure that, for example, in my office, your staff, you constantly have to pay attention, because it's not just enough that they are like your soldiers, like they're coming to work, but you need to stop. Are they okay? Is this working for them? Listening, paying attention to the little things, and then business is tough. It's a tough world. You constantly have to prove that you can do it, that you are well able. And sometimes the clients are sizing you up like, can she really do this? Can she deliver? And it's keeping your word. When you say you do something by a certain day, do it. If you can't do it, communicate. So those are some of the challenges.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, as Zika president, as a business owner, what are your aspirations, particularly for women in accounting? Where would you like to see them in the next 5 years? Where would you like to see them in the next 3 years? And where would you like to see the accounting profession as a whole in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, that's a good question. So essentially, it's to see more women, more women taking on leadership roles, breaking barriers, I know we have done it in different sectors, even in the financial services sectors. We've seen our female CEOs, and we can do it. We just need to kind of push ourselves into those positions. So there's a lot of opportunity. And I like to believe that women are more loyal. We don't change jobs anyhow.
Yeah.
But then as an accountancy as a profession, yes, the numbers they've gone down globally. So it's just to bring that interest back. So we have to look at how our role as accountants has evolved and fit into that. Because we're not just number crunchers. We are in strategic positions. We can drive companies to where we want them to be. So I'm hoping to see more of that. The women evolving, not just accountancy, but doing a bit more. Maybe adding on ICT, marketing, sales.
Digital skills as well.
Yes, digital skills. So there's more that we can do. But we are one of the oldest professions. So even though the methodologies may change, I like to believe that the principles are the same.
Absolutely.
But we'll continue to encourage from primary school, secondary school, and show them that, look, this is a good profession. I love what I do.
Absolutely. Now, take us through a typical day for Yande. How does a typical day look like? What time does she wake up? What does she do when she wakes up until she goes back to bed? Yeah.
Interesting. I'm a morning person, so I'm an early riser. The first thing I do is I thank God for giving me another day, for giving me breath, for my family, and for all that I have to do that day. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly like that. Sometimes you jump start into the day depending on what's there. But on the typical day, yes, get into the office, have my coffee. I'm not a breakfast person, but I will have coffee or tea. Yes, and then essentially look at what needs to happen on that day. Well, I'm a schedule person, so I like things, written down. I like to plan. And then lunchtime, usually I have with my husband. It's a thing we decided to do years back because we were so busy. So we like to have lunch together.
I totally love that.
And then after that, it's back to work, and it all depends. If it's a busy day, the hours could stretch until after 6 p.m. Usually I'll go and work from home, cook or take out, whatever works. And maybe read. I like quiet, so I like everything off just to unwind.
Very important.
That is what my day would look like.
Oh, totally love it. Now, obviously, in all that, the importance of self-care cannot be, overemphasized, especially as women with the demands on us, our time, our resources, and all things. How does self-care look like for you? In your business life, Zika president, you're an accountant, you're running a business, and you have a home to run. How does self-care look like for you?
So sometimes it's me just saying, you know what, today I'm taking a day off. And actually saying I will not do anything, which is very hard to do as a woman. Because when we take a day off, we want to do spring cleaning. We want to cook all those meals, but sometimes I've realized it's okay to just stop. It's okay for you to sit on the couch the whole day and even watch TV or read a book. It's important just to have that break. And then other days, because I can't do that always, it's as a family we like to cook together, sit, chat, play board games. I love board games, so I kind of twist everyone into playing board games.
They have no choice.
Yeah. So for me, that is what it really it means. That's my self-care.
Okay. Now, Yande, the 2024 theme, International Women's Day, is themed around invest in women and accelerate change. What does this theme mean to you, or what would be your interpretation of the theme?
I really love the theme. Invest. So it's investing in women of my time. For example, for myself, I wish I had someone other than, my family just talk to me about, being a professional life. And that is what I would want to do. So I want to go in schools. I'm investing. It's my time. Yes, you may say, oh, there's a charge out rate or whatnot, but no, I just want to give back. I want to invest in the younger generation. Maybe not necessarily for them to be accountants, but just to sit with them and talk to them, Maybe I'm the closest professional person that my little cousins in some village will ever see or talk to, but just to show them that it's possible. So it's investing in time, in knowledge. As we know, financial literacy is a big deal right now. Mental health, I'm not an expert, so I won't delve into that area. But then investing also in myself. Read a book, enrich yourself. We have the qualifications, but you can do more. What else? Is it a sport? Yeah, but I think it's all encompassing of just ensuring that women rise up. It's an opportunity for us to be seen, to be heard, to take up positions, to be innovators, to do challenging things. So it's a very broad theme, I must say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to start from somewhere.
Okay. Thank you so much. And probably your final word in this Women's Month to a woman, a young girl out there who's watching you and is inspired by you. What's your message to them in this Women's Month?
For the young woman.
For the young woman.
It's a tough one. Because I have so much to say. So you have value, you have worth, you are seen, you are heard. And I really want to hear about you one day. And we are here to help walk that journey with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and it's been such a joy having you on the Awanachi Conversations. We look forward to hosting you in yet another conversation as we continue to amplify the voices of women in different spaces. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation today, and happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much, and happy Women's Month to you. You're doing amazing things.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for creating this platform. We are here to support you.
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it. I've been talking to the Zika president, that's Mrs. Yande Mwenye, just sharing her journey in the accountancy space, what the future looks like. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. We look forward to you joining us on the next podcast as we bring another interesting guest just to talk about issues around women. I've been your host, Mpunga Simukwai. Do join me next time. God bless.